Okay, so for anyone who's even dipped a toe into the online money-making world lately, you've probably seen it. These promises about faceless YouTube
Oh yeah,
channels.
they're everywhere.
Right. Videos claiming, 10, 20, $30,000 per month, or get monetized in just 7 days with YouTube automation.
Or cash cow channels. That was the big one for a while.
Exactly. It feels like this new digital gold rush. But how much of that is, real and how much is just really good marketing hype?
It's a really powerful allure, isn't it? And well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. We're trying to cut through all that noise, all the hype, to really uncover the truth, figure out the fables from the facts, lay out the good, the bad, and yeah, sometimes the pretty ugly side of this whole venture.
And we're basing this on actual experience, right? Not just theory.
Yeah, exactly. This is coming from someone who's actually been in the trenches doing this for years, running multiple channels. So it's a grounded perspective, hopefully, not just selling the dream again.
That's crucial because there's this core idea, this truth that always seems to get buried in those flashy videos. Making money online is simple in concept,
Right.
but it is definitely not easy.
Absolutely not. That's the key. If someone tells you it's easy, that should be your first, giant red flag.
Okay, so we're going to pull back the curtain then. Look at the details they conveniently, heavily discount, as you put it. The hidden costs, the risks people don't see, the actual effort needed.
All of it.
So what's the basic idea they sell people? How do they get them hooked in the first place?
Well, the formula they present sounds incredibly simple, almost disarmingly so.
Okay.
Step 1, find out what people want to watch. Step 2, make videos about that. Step 3, people watch, you make money. Simple.
Yeah, on paper, that sounds amazing. Like, who wouldn't want that passive income stream?
Exactly. It sounds almost too good to be true.
Which usually means it is, right? So where's the catch? Where's the devil in the details hiding here?
The devil is always in those details. The real challenge, the first hurdle, is finding a faceless niche that, people actually want to watch, but isn't already packed with competition.
Okay, that sounds hard already.
It is.
Yeah.
And then you've got to figure out how to actually monetize it properly. And maybe the biggest part, how do you keep it going long enough to actually see a decent return on your initial investment of time and money?
Right. So the strategy, the persistence, that's the stuff they just kind of gloss over in the pitch.
Completely brushed under the rug.
Yeah.
It's all about the get-rich-quick angle, not the actual work involved.
And that lack of strategy, skipping steps, I imagine that leads people down some pretty sketchy paths. You mentioned seeing stuff behind the scenes. What happens when someone says they got monetized in, a week?
Yeah, well, it's very rarely organic. Let's be clear on that.
Okay.
What's often happening is they're basically buying their way into the YouTube Partner Program. People are literally going out and purchasing 4,000 watch hours or 1,000 subscribers.
Wait, you can just buy that stuff. How? And surely YouTube knows, isn't that against the rules?
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge violation of YouTube's terms of service. Big time.
So how do they do it?
Well, there are websites where you can buy subscribers, often paid for with, Bitcoin to keep it anonymous. For watch time, sometimes they hire VAs, virtual assistants, or even use bot farms to just loop long videos, think 2-hour videos over and over again to inflate the watch time artificially.
Wow.
But yeah, the key thing is it's a direct violation. If YouTube catches you, and they often do, your channel could just get deleted, poof, gone, or at the very least demonetized.
That's a massive risk.
It is. And I can tell you, personally, I bought an expensive course way back, and this was literally the method they taught.
Yeah.
Buy your way in.
No way. A course taught you to break the rules.
Yep. It's shocking, but it shows you how much crazy hype is out there and how often this huge risk is just completely left out of the sales pitch.
Unbelievable. Okay, so speaking of YouTube itself, you made this interesting point earlier. You said YouTube is no longer a platform for originality. YouTube is the platform for copy and paste. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, it means the algorithm, the thing that decides which videos get shown. In many ways, it actually encourages you to copy what's already working.
Really? How so?
If you find a video, maybe in your niche, that has a great view-to-subscriber ratio, lots of views, pulling in subscribers, YouTube's system often sort of nudges you to make something very similar.
So less reward for being totally unique.
It feels that way sometimes. Maybe, 5 or 10 years ago, true originality might have been rewarded more. But now, It often seems to reward content that looks like something else that already proved popular. And this whole copy and paste thing has got a powerful new friend, AI.
Oh, okay. Artificial intelligence. So it's not just humans copying, AI makes it even easier.
Exactly. Like turbocharges the process.
Mhm.
There's software out there readily available that can identify viral videos in your niche. Then you can take that video's transcript, which, by the way, you can often just download straight from YouTube, feed it into another AI.
And it writes a script for you.
Pretty much, a script that's very, very similar to the original. AI can also help find images, piece the video together, and even do the voiceover.
Right. I've heard of things like 11 Labs or Hidjin for voices.
Yeah, those are popular ones, though, you can often still tell it's an AI voice. The inflection isn't quite right. Maybe the sentence structure feels a bit unnatural sometimes.
So we're seeing this flood then, AI-generated kind of replica content in all sorts of niches, health, wealth, history, whatever.
A huge amount of it, yeah.
Do you think YouTube can even tell the difference anymore? Or does it care as long as people are watching?
Yeah.
And what does that do to, like, viewer trust?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? My prediction,
Yeah.
just based on watching this trend explode over the last couple of years, I think YouTube will start cracking down on these faceless AI-heavy channels.
You think so? Why?
Well, look, they spend a fortune supporting creators, right?
Yeah.
But if their audience, the actual viewers, start tuning out because everything feels generic or repetitive or just soulless, that hits YouTube's bottom line. People watching less means less ad revenue.
Good point.
So yeah, I'd bet money there are some very high-level discussions happening inside YouTube right now about this. Because this current situation, it probably isn't sustainable for the platform's health long-term or for keeping viewers happy.
That makes a lot of sense. A crackdown seems logical, but I mean, couldn't you argue some AI content, if it's done well, is still useful? Maybe it summarizes info effectively. How would YouTube even balance that?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. Maybe there is a place for well-executed AI-assisted content, but the sheer volume right now of just low-effort copy-paste stuff,
Yeah.
it's diluting the whole platform.
Okay, and that brings us back to the money, or lack thereof. Why is quick success so rare, and why do so many of these channels seem to fizzle out?
Because people drastically underestimate the skill needed to make good content, even faceless content.
Right.
They buy into the dream. Feed a transcript to AI, get an AI voice, slap on some stock footage, and bam, instant YouTube stardom in cash.
And the reality.
The reality is brutal. Even if you do get monetized, those initial earnings are often tiny. Like maybe $20, maybe $30 a day.
Wow, that's not life-changing money.
Not even close. It often doesn't even cover the costs of running the channel.
Ah, the costs. What are we talking about there?
Well, you're paying for tools, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that AI voice software like 11 Labs, maybe video editing software, stock footage subscriptions, or maybe you're hiring VAs to do some of the work. It adds up. Spending, say, $70, $80 per video isn't unusual.
Okay, yeah, $30 a day in earnings doesn't cover $80 per video.
Not even slightly. And that's why you see hundreds, maybe thousands of these channels start up all enthusiastic and then just stop abruptly. Usually within like 3 to 9 months, they've just plain run out of money.
That paints a bleak picture. And you mentioned this unrealistic expectation people have, feeling like they're owed views.
Yeah, that's a big one. People think, I made a video, I uploaded it, where are my views? Where are my subscribers? Like the act of creation itself guarantees an audience.
That doesn't work that way.
Not at all. There's a huge learning curve. You have to learn about keyword research. What are people actually searching for? You need to learn how to write compelling titles that make people click, how to design thumbnails that stand out. It's constant testing, tweaking, analyzing what works and what doesn't. It's a skill.
Okay, so the get-rich-quick dream is mostly a myth. The pitfalls are real, rule-breaking, high costs, low initial income, needing actual skills. So what is the path? If someone wants to do this sustainably, how do they even start?
Right. If you strip away all the hype, it comes down to the fundamentals of really any online business. 3 things.
Okay, what are?
Number 1, consistency. You got to keep showing up. Number 2, persistence. You got to push through the hard parts when things aren't working yet. And number 3, the ability to learn and adapt, because things will change.
Consistency, persistence, learning, and adapting. Sounds simple, but hard to execute.
Exactly. And the absolute most important first step before anything else, master the entire process yourself first.
Yourself. But isn't the whole point automation and hiring people?
That's the dream they sell you. But if you want sustainable success, you need to understand it inside out first. Before you hire a VA, before you rely heavily on AI, You need to understand what makes your audience tick.
What does that look like practically?
Don't just find a viral video and feed the transcript to an AI. Dig deeper. Figure out why that video worked. What was the hook? What kept people watching? What kind of comments did it get? Understand the psychology behind it.
Okay, so real analysis, not just replication.
Yes, and learn to write a good script. AI can help, sure, it can give you a starting point, but a human needs to shape it, make it engaging, make it flow.
And the voiceover. You mentioned AI voices can be iffy.
Do your own voiceovers for the first, say, 2 or 3 months, even if you hate the sound of your voice.
Right.
Because it forces you to understand what a good voiceover actually sounds like. The pacing, the inflection, the pauses. AI often misses that nuance. Once you know what good sounds like, you can better direct an AI or hire a human voice actor later.
And editing.
Learn basic video editing yourself. It saves a ton of money up front. More importantly, once you know how to do it, you can create really clear instructions, standard operating procedures, or SOPs for when you do eventually hire an editor. That maintains quality control.
So it's about building a solid foundation of personal skill before automating or outsourcing.
That's the opposite of the 7 days to cash pitch.
It's the long game versus the get-rich-quick fantasy.
Okay, so master the process. What else? How do you avoid just being another copycat channel?
You have to cultivate uniqueness. Seriously. Don't just aim to create, Sleepless History Channel number 57. Find your own angle.
Exactly. Viewers are smart. They get tired of seeing the same thing recycled. They crave something unique, something different, something new within that niche. Bring your own perspective or style.
And you mentioned something ominous sounding. The algorithm apocalypse.
Ah, yeah. Look, YouTube changes its algorithm, the rules of the game, constantly, like roughly every 6 months or so, sometimes more often.
And that can just kill a channel.
It can. Videos that were getting views suddenly stop. Channels can get demonetized overnight, sometimes even deleted, often with vague explanations. It happens all the time.
So how do you prepare for that?
The only real preparation is to actually know the entire process of creating a good faceless video yourself. From research to script to voice to edit to thumbnail, if you understand the fundamentals, you can adapt when the algorithm shifts. That knowledge is your safety net, your insurance policy.
That's a really sobering point. Your whole business could vanish if you're just relying on a system you don't truly understand.
Precisely. Which leads directly to the next critical piece of advice.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Bingo. You absolutely must have a multi-income stream plan. Do not rely solely on YouTube, ad revenue, the partner program, or even just brand deals and sponsorships.
Why not? If the channel's doing well.
Because YouTube is, frankly, finicky. They can change the rules whenever they want. Tomorrow, they could decide you need, 10,000 subscribers and 50,000 watch hours to stay monetized. They've changed the requirements before.
Right, I remember that happening.
Your entire business can't be held hostage by their arbitrary decisions.
Okay, so what other streams should people build?
Think broader. Affiliate marketing is huge. There are literally thousands, over 11,000 affiliate programs out there you could potentially partner with.
Okay.
Could you create your own digital products? An ebook? A course related to your niche? Could you offer a membership for exclusive content? Maybe even physical products if it fits your niche.
So diversify the income streams.
Massively. Aim for maybe a 4-pronged approach. If you do that, then the YouTube ad revenue might end up being the smallest piece of your overall income pie.
And if YouTube pulls the plug on your monetization?
It hurts, sure, but it's not devastating. Your business survives. You're not left scrambling from zero.
That's incredibly valuable advice, really, for anyone building anything online. Build resilience.
It's essential.
And, thinking about this, these ideas, YouTube automation, faceless channels, they feel new because of AI, maybe, but the concept isn't actually new, is it?
Not at all. It's just rebranding. This stuff gets repackaged and resold every, 3 to 5 years?
Like the cash cow channels during the pandemic?
Exactly. Go search YouTube for cash cow channels. From 2020, 2021, you'll find tons of videos pushing the exact same dream, just with a different label. It's the same cycle.
Which really underlines the need for patience for that delayed gratification you mentioned.
Absolutely. I had one channel myself. I put work into it, uploaded videos.
Yeah.
And nothing. Crickets. Views were tiny.
So what did you do?
Honestly, I kind of gave up on it for a while. I stopped uploading new videos because it just wasn't making financial sense to keep investing time and money.
And
months later, like maybe 6 or 8 months later, out of the blue, my phone starts pinging. Notifications, new views, new comments, even some affiliate sales coming through from the links in the descriptions of those old videos.
Wow. So the work paid off, just
Later.
Much later.
It proved that sometimes consistent quality work just needs time to find its audience or for the algorithm to catch on. It's rarely an overnight explosion.
That's such a good story. So, okay, let's bring it all together. For someone listening right now, maybe tempted by those big promises, what's the final word?
Success isn't a magic button. It's not an explosion. It's more like a trickle. It comes from trying things, failing sometimes, learning from those failures, and adapting your approach.
Keep going.
Yeah. You're not going to upload 5 videos and be rich next week. Be consistent, put your head down, focus on learning the craft, have realistic expectations, know that it's going to be frustrating sometimes, that there's a learning curve you absolutely have to go through. It's about resilience and continuous improvement, really.
Fantastic. What a reality check on the whole Faceless YouTube channel phenomenon. So that vision of easy, quick money, super compelling.
Very.
But the truth is, it demands that consistency, that persistence you talked about, actually developing real skills and definitely having a diverse income plan. It is not the easy button.
Definitely not. You know, it's kind of like, well, it's like most things, maybe. People are out there selling shovels. And often the people selling the shovels are making more money and more reliably than the people actually doing the digging.
That is a perfect analogy, selling the dream versus doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
So a final thought for you listening. Think about who really benefits most from this Faceless YouTube channel gold rush hype. Are you just buying a shovel someone else is profiting from? Or are you actually learning how to dig, how to build something real and sustainable for yourself? Worth thinking about.